said came true. Everything we've done's been right.
He really speaks out against all the gangster rap, go out and kill each other, go out, deal drugs, all of that. And he has really turned millions of people away from that. But he's a pioneering hip-hopper, sold millions and millions of records. In August of 1987, his partner, LaRock, was murdered, and that's what got him going on his Stop the Violence movement that went nationwide in 1989. And again, so this is the good hip-hop. This is the stuff that's really uplifting, and he just does an amazing job. He's also involved with 9/11 Truth, and he's anti-war. And we're just really excited to have KRS-ONE on the show with us. It's great to have you, sir.
Hello, how are you?
Good. Tell us what you're doing in Texas right now.
Well, you could tell by my voice. Last night we were in Dallas screaming at the audience to stop the violence. And it's funny because people don't seem to act until you act. And this is why we're here, to cause peace. So, we did a community college yesterday where we discussed violence and discussed the role of violence in society, meaning that nature, we discussed at the college that nature is violent, and really violence is sort of like morality, that it is very selective when it comes to your society. Like you have natural violence, but then we're supposed to have civilization where we rise above the natural state of humanity, really, and kind of get along with one another, if I may use a better term. Just be civilized if you can. Try to love one another. Try to respect one another. This kind of thing. But if your leaders are pushing violence, if all you see on television is this is the way you're going to solve a problem, bash the guy's head in, and even verbally to say, well, you got to get a little aggressive with your voice. Everything that points to aggression later on in life points to stress, points to anxiety, and most important, guilt. And so we were trying to tell the kids yesterday, which many of them totally understood what was going on. We said, look, Stanford University says that violence is caused in society by illiteracy. Like if you can't read, you express yourself physically. Now, I don't know if I agree with that totally, but I'm just citing the study. The United Nations points out that poverty is the cause of violence. If you don't have enough to eat, nothing on your back, nothing over your head, you're quicker to lash out at somebody.
KRS, the Pentagon has done studies in the 40s, 50s, right through to today, that within 4 days of no food or water, most people start stealing. Within 10 to 15, 90+% of people start murdering for food. So that's just a fact.
Wow, you just added to my lexicon of truth here. Wow, really? 4 days?
Absolutely. And then over 90% will start killing after 10 to 15, depending on where they did the study.
This is important for leadership because in a lot of ways our society is kept deprived so that these violent acts can continue. And people make money on violence, which was my last point, which I think resonates well with young people. Young people don't want to be slaves, simple and plain. And when you point out that, if you can't control yourself or at least find another way to resolve conflict, you're playing into that game, that prison industrial complex.
Man, you discovered the same thing that I've discovered, but you articulate it simpler and in a better, succinct way than I do. That I found that if you tell young people, don't go out and fight, don't go out and do drugs, don't go, that's for older people or you'll get in trouble, they'll still go do it. But if you explain to them that this is a system and that the system wants them to get in trouble and wants to get them in the system and that they win by being professional, by doing well in life, as the French say, best revenge is living well, that they win, then, that's one of the things I like about the black Muslim movement. I have some criticisms as well, but overall, they have that message, and it has really been successful for a lot of folks.
Yeah. Yeah, and the point is that our children are not stupid. Our young people are not stupid. If you explain that this is all part of a plan to keep you subordinate to commercial interests, your little act of violence is a ticket for you to now become part of the problem, really,
yes.
On a social level.
Well, it's what you said. It's what you said. I mean, it's the new slavery. They want to institutionalize you, get you on welfare, get you in prison, get you in the psychiatric system, get you in debt.
Yeah, get you in debt, more importantly, by telling you, well, not even by telling you, but, well, wow, you just pointed up interesting. In the courts, when you are, I guess, given justice, if we may call it that, they say you're paying your debt to society. And this is very important, paying your debt. What debt? What debt do you incur? What did you get for free, that you now have to pay for? What did you, invest in to cause you now to have debt? And the issue is that once you explain that to our children and you say, you are being suckered, they rise right up and say, oh, hey, now I get it.
Yes.
Peace is a revolutionary strategy as opposed to something to attain.
Man, that's beautiful. And they also sell being warlike and getting in fights in the media, but then they put you in jail when you do it as strength. But it takes more strength to learn to control yourself and not be fooled.
Right. And this is what Dr. King taught. A restraint, self-restraint in the face of injustice. If you join in on the injustice, you weaken your argument, you weaken yourself. But if you can stand up to it, and show the hypocrisy by being the victim of injustice, if you can withstand it, if you have the strength, the courage to withstand it, it always shows itself to be hypocritical, and no matter how powerful the opposition would be, they fall. They fall, as we've just seen Bush fly away. Wow.
Shifting gears, and limited time we have with you. I can't wait till next time you're in Texas. You can come in studio here. 9/11 truth, the New World Order, eugenics, all the things that are going on. I know you're aware of a lot of that. Give us your bottom line take on that.
Not to get into any Obama bashing. Not to on these glorious happy days for African Americans.
Well, really, you're welcome. You're welcome to say whatever you say. Sure.
Here you go. But you know what? I will be truthful. And what one of the things I point out is that the New World Order has no color, no race, no face. It's an ideology. And just because we have an African-American president, does this now make us more palatable to the agendas of a new world order, a new world system, the whole world working? Does just because we have an African-American president, does that erase the agenda that we already know is underway? And this is something that I speak about often when you talk about New World Order. As we cheer Obama on, as we hope for a new world, and underline that, we hope for a new world, there are those who are saying, yes, we're willing to give you that new world. We're not going to get our New World Order with this guy who looks like this or may come from this background, because it's all cosmetic. So why don't we take away this color or culture, background, ethnicity, rhetoric, and let's give you the rhetoric, the color, the guy you like. So that...
You know what, KRS, stay there. I told him to play this song, but go ahead and cut it. We're going to come back with that. I don't want to interrupt you. I don't want to interrupt you. Start over. This is, in fact, let's skip this break, John. Let's skip this break at prisonplanet.tv because I want to skip this break right now. Start over because this is such an important point. Again, the way you boil it down, it would take me an hour to explain this, is that I'm happy we've got an African-American president. That's great because I want everybody to live in peace. And but I wish that he wasn't a globalist. I wish I knew, because I've studied it, that it wasn't a deception. I wish that that in the end it's going to turn people against each other because he's going to be able to ram through the New World Order agenda. And now when I oppose it, people are going to think I don't like him because he's black.
Right. And this is what African Americans, if you're listening right now to this show, we can't get caught up in this. Truth has to be the new agenda for why you argue. Truth, 9/11 truth. Truth. If you got information, if you know what's going on, you can't deny the truth. And as much as I appreciate just the fact that